Ba-do-boo-boo. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Hey everybody. Come on in here. Quickly. Quickly before all the seats are taken. Last person who gets in here doesn't get a chair. Alright, I'll tell you, does it get more fun every day? I can't tell. That's the golden age for you. Alright, we're going to talk about some fun from yesterday, in which, I don't know if how many of you saw the video of President Trump talking about the Olympics and the Paralympics. And I want to play the video, then I'm going to give you Chris Hayes, TV host, MSNBC, I think, a TV host Chris Hayes' interpretation of it, and then we'll talk about it. Let's make sure we can see this first.
So today, on behalf of the United States, I want to thank every Olympian and Paralympian. And that was just incredible. And what happened with the Paralympics was so incredible and so inspiring to me. And I watched. It's a little tough to watch too much, but I watched as much as I could. It was really fantastic.
Now, did you hear that part? He goes, it was tough to watch too much, but I watched as much as I could. Let's play it again. Just that part. So listen to just that sentence.
And I watched. It's a little tough to watch too much, but I watched as much as I could. It was really fantastic, and I want to thank you.
So it's tough to watch too much, but I watched as much as I could. So how did you interpret that? Well, I interpreted it as, you're the President of the United States, it's hard to sit down and watch much television. Innocent, normal, a very ordinary thing to say. I'm the President of the United States, I don't have much time. Chris Hayes, let's see what Chris is. He's the host of All In with Chris on MSNBC, an anti-Trumper. He tweets about that, and he goes, honestly, what the hell kind of thing is this to say? Now you realize that he's interpreted the president's comments as if the president was saying it's hard to look at these people because of disabilities, I guess. So Chris Hayes has interpreted the president saying that he doesn't have much time to watch television as he finds it hard emotionally to look at children who have disabilities. Oh my God. Oh my God. So he makes that tweet. So I tweeted back. I helped Chris interpret it. So I tweeted back, I heard him say presidents are busy, so it's hard to watch much TV. Paraphrasing. And then I said, what does it sound like in the TDS language? So I thought it was funny that there might be an actual TDS language where all the words sound the same, but they mean different things. You know, it's actually the English words, but in the TDS language, they actually have different meanings. So you can say the same sentence, and somebody will hear, oh, it's time for dinner, and the other person will hear, you're a damn idiot. It's like the same words, but TDS language interprets them differently. So anyway, but there's a happy ending to this story. So if you're just joining on, the president was giving his speech, and he said essentially he didn't have much time to watch the Paralympics. Chris Hayes interpreted it initially, apparently, as saying it was hard to look at the people. And then when he realized people jumped in and said he may have interpreted it differently. And then he fixed it. So then Chris Hayes later said, so I've listened to this way more than I should have. And he says, I think, and he puts little asterisks around thinks, so he's not positive. He goes, I think I've come to conclude he means it's tough to watch too much because he's so busy being president, which is exactly right. Now if you don't see what a big deal this is, let me break it down for you. Here was a clean example of somebody who experienced the Trump derangement syndrome bubble from the inside. He heard something that would have been shocking, but of course didn't happen. But he heard it pretty clearly. He heard something that didn't happen so clearly that he was willing to publicly go on the record and tweet it. So he was so sure that he heard it the other way that he tweeted it to 1.6 million followers, put his reputation on the line, and did it in public. That's how sure he was of his original interpretation. Now, if any of this sounds like I'm making fun of Chris Hayes, I want to tell you right now, this is the opposite. All right? This is the opposite of me making fun of Chris Hayes. Chris Hayes actually saw something that wasn't there. This is really important. He saw something that literally didn't happen. He saw it as clearly as he could, but it wasn't there. And then when other people weighed in and said, no, you're interpreting this wrong, this clearly means the other thing, what did he do? Did he double down? No, he didn't double down. He went and he looked at the evidence again and again and again and again, apparently, because he said he replayed the video a number of times. Then, having come to a different conclusion, literally realized that, I think I saw this, I think I saw something that wasn't there. He did the honorable thing. He did not delete his tweet. He retweeted a correction and said why. He goes, I listened to it, assessed the evidence, and yeah, I hear it differently now. I think I hear it differently now. Chris got out of the bubble. It's a big deal. Do you know how rare it is for somebody to do this? Now, I'm not saying he's out and he'll stay out. I'm saying that he experienced within one day what it feels like to be in an artificial world, where he saw something right in front of him, he heard it, he saw it, clear as day. And then when other people said, no, take another look, you're interpreting this wrong, he actually did something that very, very rarely can people do. He actually climbed out of the bubble and looked at it from outside the bubble. It's a big deal. I know it sounds like I'm making a bigger deal about this than you probably think it is. But I'm hoping there's more of this coming. So I'm seeing this as more of a symbol of maybe there's like a crack in reality. You know, the Kanye thing's a pretty big deal. It's the first time that people probably said, that damn racist, wait a minute. I'm trying to figure out, so this is what people had to deal with this past week. There were people trying to grapple with the fact that they were 100% positive that this president is a big old damn racist. They're 100% positive that Kanye West doesn't like racists. And yet Kanye West likes the president. So how is any of this possible? Now people are trying to explain it by Kanye is actually literally crazy. Is that possible? Yeah, that's possible. Anything's possible, right? So that would at least it would explain some of the observation. But here's a better explanation. Kanye is closer to the president than you are. He's just got a clearer view because he's up front. He's looked in his eyes. Do you think that when Kanye and President Trump were sitting privately and talking to each other, do you think they felt anything but affection for each other? I don't think so. I think that's all they felt. So Kanye got out of the bubble, and Chris Hayes just had the experience of being in it and then out of it in one day, which has got to be jarring. It's got to be jarring. Now, I of course, I couldn't leave it alone. So I tweeted to Chris just a moment ago, congratulations getting out of the TDS. Well, I just noted that he got out of the TDS bubble, and I said, do Charlottesville next. Because this is a perfect analogy, or a perfect similar example, let's say, of the people who thought that the President of the United States sided with the actual racists in Charlottesville. Now, just like the Chris Hayes example, where he's positive he heard that. But then when he got to see the other point of view, he could see both, right? So he could see two worlds at one time, which has got to be a weird experience. Think about it. Think about being so certain, and then with no facts changing, no facts changed, nothing changed, and then he was able to see a whole different world at the same time. It's cool, all right? So I send my blog post about Charlottesville, in which I explain in the blog post how a large part of the world is positive. They heard our president side with actual out of the closet racists who were marching in Charlottesville. They believe they actually saw that. That didn't happen. Now, the president did use words that sound exactly like that, but any reasonable interpretation of what he meant is that he assumed other people were there too. All right, that's what I assumed. A lot of people probably assumed it's a big old demonstration. There's lots of different people. Some are racist, some are Antifa, but probably some of them are just good Republicans who are there to protest the removal of the statue, not for racist reasons. They just like their history or whatever. So the Charlottesville example is identical in setup to this Paralympics situation. It's people looking at the same set of facts and coming to completely different movies, and someday maybe the people who saw one movie can see simultaneously the other. Let me say that on Charlottesville, I can clearly see both movies. So to the people, which is probably maybe even the majority of the country, so to the people who are saying, my God, Scott, can't you see he clearly used the words, he said that those racists are fine people. I see exactly why you think that. There are the words, the interpretation that those people are putting on it is not crazy in some kind of, I don't know how words work way. It's simply an interpretation that doesn't work nearly as well as the real one, which is he just thought there were some good people there too. It was the fog of war situation. I certainly assumed that. And by the way, there were some people who were just there to protest the statues as a free speech point, who were very anti-racist and said so. They did a video that day. So there were some good people there, some fine people. That is documented and true. Half the world or more thought that he sided with racists that day. It's amazing that you can have such different movies from the same set of facts. Okay. So maybe that's a big deal, maybe it's not. I understand that Kanye is dropping a new surprise track with T.I. T.I. playing the voice of his critics, saying, and then I guess Kanye explaining in the song his position about Trump. I haven't heard the lyrics, but I gotta say, this is a true statement. I've told you before, I'm not really into music that much, but one of the few albums I've ever bought was Kanye's. I like his stuff. I like his music. I like what he does. And when I heard this track was out there, see if you had a similar experience. I've never wanted to hear a song more than that song. For a song that I hadn't yet heard, I've never craved. I was almost salivating. I was like, I got to hear that song. That's going to be a good song. And it was partly musical, like I thought it would be a good song, because he makes good music. But partly because it's so interesting, partly because there's so much energy around it, partly because this song would have so much of himself in it. His music he's always in his music, but this one is so raw and immediate and important. Like, I have never ever wanted to hear a song that badly, and I Googled around. I couldn't find a copy right away, so I'll go see if I can download it a legal way. Oh, he killed it? You're going to have a field day? So some of you, it's on iTunes. I'm not sure I can use iTunes. Let me see if I can fire it up here while you're here. I have a bad history with iTunes. What's it called? There's a song called What's Going On with Kanye, or maybe that's a podcast. What's the name of the song? Ye versus the People? Is that what it's called? All right, I search artists and more. Yeah, stronger, go there. All right. So I'm going to do what I've done 100% of the times I've used iTunes, and I'm going to do it right now. I've been trying to use iTunes for many years. Part of the reason that I don't listen to music anymore is iTunes. iTunes is actually the biggest reason that I don't listen to music, because I have to deal with it. The user interface for iTunes is so annoying that I can't penetrate it. Now, I'm not saying I don't know how to use it or that I can't figure out how to use it. Of course I can. You know, millions of people use iTunes. It's not like I can't figure it out. But I get so angry every time. Every time I open it and try to use it, it makes me so angry that the interface is so poorly designed that I can't actually buy music. I actually bail out before I can actually find and download a piece of music. I become so angry at the interface. And I don't know if it's because Apple does such a good job, as so many other things, that I say to myself, are you serious? Why do we have this 1990s interface to buy music when you do everything else so well? What the hell is wrong with this? Ye versus the people, somebody's saying. All right, let's test this interface. Doing Kanye didn't bring it up. The people. Watch this not work. Yep, nothing. So ye versus the people doesn't give me anything. See? Like, I swear to God, I just give up on freaking iTunes. It's just the worst thing. This is the biggest story in the whole world right now. This damn song. The most important song in the universe is this goddamn song. And iTunes won't pick it up either on Kanye's name or the name of the song. Now, I agree, those of you who know iTunes better are saying, you idiot, you're pushing the wrong button, you have to do this, or you're in the wrong mode, or something. And I'm sure that's true. And I'm sure I could figure that out in 5 minutes. But that would be 5 minutes of so much pain, I'm not going to do it, because I'd be so angry while I'm trying to figure it out. All right. So I think I have nothing else left to say today. I'm going to go do some work, and I'll talk to you all later.